With the Oklahoma Sooners going into their first year in the SEC for 2024, I thought I'd drop a little video and kind of give my take on the schedule coming up this season. Kind of tell you what my predictions are. You can take them for what it's worth. Just my predictions, but I thought it would be a good video to put out because y'all haven't heard my predictions yet. But first, welcome to Sooner Legends Podcast. I'm your host, Mike the Legend. And if you're new to the channel, new to the family, hop down and hit that red subscriber button. Turn on your post notification bells. That way you won't miss any college football uh, content I will be uploading in the future. And could you give me a like and please comment on the video because it helps push the algorithm of YouTube, which means the world out to me as a small content creator. And could you please share the video because sharing is caring. Okay, the legend predictions. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not good at them, but here's what I'm looking at. Going into this season into the SEC, look at how many players that we lost in the winter portal and the spring portal. Wasn't much. We lost Caden Green. We lost Gavin Freeman. We lost Josiah Wagner and Justin Harrington. But if you look at our defensive crop on all positions, defensive line, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, we are deep and stacked in that room, and we are returning a bunch of players on that side of the ball. And we got some upcoming players as well, such as Michael Boganowski and those guys. So here's here's my 2 cents and my prediction on on this season. You got Temple, Houston, Tulane, and Tennessee, and then Auburn. I look for OU to go undefeated going into that bye week before Texas. Which Tennessee, we're going to have to be careful of them because they have that quarterback Nico. They run a veer and shoot offense, and they're going to be real interesting to watch. However, that game is played at Norman, and I feel that we will pull out the victory. Now, I'm not going to give any scores or anything. I'm going straight across WL. Well, I'm not even going to do any losses for right now. I'm saying we're just looking at here. But like I said, going into the bye week in Texas, we're going to be undefeated. Is my prediction. I still think we're going to beat Auburn at Jordan Hare. I mean, y'all can. I know that place has its own voodoo magic, blah blah blah. But what did New Mexico State do to them last year at Jordan Hare? Gave them a thrashing and steamrolled. And OU is twice the team that New Mexico State is. And who knows what Auburn team is going to show up. You never know which team they're from theirs is going to show up. So I think we're going to pull out that victory, despite what people are saying, because of Jordan Hare. Phenomenal. But anyway, prediction going into the bye week, we're undefeated. Now Texas, that I don't care what side of the Red River you're on, whether you're a Sooner or a Longhorn fan. That game, you throw out every stat, everything that's happened up to that game because that is a new game. And we can sit here and talk about Jordan Hare's voodoo magic all you want to. Y'all ain't seen nothing in the voodoo that's in that Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl pulls out its own voodoo magic. But With Texas losing the players that they lost in the draft, they lost 11 players. More importantly, Devondre Sweat and all them big boys that they went to the draft. They're in the NFL, and Texas is having to replace 11 players. Now, stranger things has happened. I mean, but I'm looking at it through my own perspective that when you lose 11 players and over half of them 11 was your starting men and you're having to replace them, from what I've seen in the past, it's hard to get those players developed that quickly. So I look for OU to beat Texas in the Red River rivalry. Not coming from a homer, just seeing what I'm seeing as far as both sides of the ball. And this all stems back to who OU has returning. And then we got, after Texas, we got South Carolina at home. Victory. I got us. I got us winning that one. Now, Ole Miss, that one going to Mississippi to play at Oxford, and knowing what Lane Kiffin can do, that one right there has me kind of on the edge of a seat. Um, I'm going to say that that will probably be our first loss of the season. Knowing what Lane Kiffin went in the portal and got, and his returning team, and hell, I talked to one of the biggest content creators today in Ty Hayes, and he told me, thank God that Alabama ain't playing Ole Miss this year. That come from Ty Hayes, and y'all know Ty from Around the Table Sports. Very knowledgeable guy, knows his stuff. So I'm looking, I'm dipping into an L on that game. Then we got Maine. W, never even heard of them. I still, now this is something that I'm just gonna briefly touch on. Why didn't they take that Maine game and make it the Bedlam game? You can't sit there and tell me that because we're in the SEC, different schedule, blah blah blah. I guarantee you that Maine would not get the viewing that the Bedlam game would get. But I digress. Then we go to Missouri. I still think we're going to beat Missouri because Missouri, they lost their defensive coordinator. Now they're returning some players, but with everything that's been going on since the off season, I think OU has a chip on their shoulder about that game, and they're going to go up and win that game. Now, Alabama, what Alabama team are we going to get? Now, there's something else me and Ty talked about. Kalen DeBoer. Everybody thought that Kalen couldn't replace the almighty Nick Saban, but if you look at the transfer portal and the recruits Kalen has brought in since he's been named the head coach at Alabama, uh, that's going to be a dogfight. That's going to be a dogfight. But thank God it's in Norman. Now, let's see. I got an L, an Ole Miss, uh, Alabama. I'm going to push because we'll be deeper in the season and I'm going to have to see more through the season before that Bama game. So I'm going to push Bama. Now LSU, there again, everybody's saying Death Valley at night. OU has no chance. LSU lost their spark plug. and Jaden Daniels, and they lost. And they're trying to. They lost a lot on their defensive line. And I've been saying this to. I even told this to Ty talking to him today. But with the players that LSU lost, and Jaden Daniels not being in there anymore as their trigger man quarterback, I'm going to play on my gut with this, and I'm going to say OU wins at least by 3 or 7. Now that one I will put a kind of a score on. So that leaves us at 11-1. Now, like I said, this is my predictions and my predictions only. If God forbid something goes awry in the season, I will jump back on this channel and I will say I was wrong. But from what I'm looking at is the returning players that OU has on defense. Now, offensive line, that's kind of touchy subject right now. But Bedenbaugh's going to have 3 games to get this offensive line in team. And knowing how Bedenbaugh develops players, I look by the Tennessee game that these guys are going to be gelling. So there you have it. 11-1, and we go to the playoff. Now, I told PG in a private message today that I've got to set at 9-3. And I still hold true to that because even though I'm saying we're going 11-1, I still got the mindset of 9-3. That way, if we go 9-3, I won't be so so hard on so won't be so upset if that happens. But I still think 11-1 and a playoff. You heard it from me. Like I said, if something drastically happens at the end of the season and we go less than that or have a crappy season, I will be the first to jump on here and say that I was wrong. And if we take L's by some of the teams that we have, that I have us winning, I'll jump and make a video about that and say I was wrong too. But right now, I'm going 9-3 floor, 11-1 ceiling. And y'all hop down in the comments and tell me what you think. What's y'all's predictions? Let me hear it from y'all. This is the legend. We'll see you on the backside. God bless. Boomer Sooner.